back to another art time lapse. Today I'm going to be doing a piece that deviates from my Studio Ghibli norm that I've been doing lately, and this one's called the Panda Pianist. I hope I said that right. I always struggle with that word in particular, but essentially it's a panda playing a piano. So I'm going to start by drawing a forest. I want to have a darker shade on the top, and then moving downwards will be a lighter shade. It's going to be a blue tinge. I don't want the forest to be super dark. I want to have a idea or grace related to the artwork that gives the audience a sense of light, hope, and just an idea that miracles can happen. That's basically where the piece comes from. I want it to be whimsical and playful and convey the feeling that anything is possible. So you can see I start by doing the lighter layers of gouache diluted with water with a more turquoisey blue, and I let that layer dry. Once that layer dries, I add on the subsequent layer that are a little bit darker and a little bit more tinge of a cobalt blue. I especially like doing these mini layers as I change the shade up a little bit and also add more pigmentation to create more depth to the artwork, because it just feels so relaxing, I would say, in a way, to do this process and watch how the artwork just kind of bleeds through the paper and you just see how it turns out. So here you can see there's actually some watercolor stains stains from the paint, from the amount of water I use. I use quite a bit of water to do the background, but it's actually one of the things I really enjoy about the medium and how the water kind of creates these effects. I also like how the light shines through the shades in my window and create this sense of light. And this shade, or this little peak of light that comes through my window, is an inspiration for a couple of my pieces lately. Here I'm just filling in some lighter colors of the trees, but you can see that some of the branches are peering through. I've always been partial to the cooler blue tones, but lately I've been venturing to new colors. In this piece, I'm trying to use a lot of turquoisey color as well. I wanted some of the leaves to kind of fall off and shine through, so I used pure white gouache to add in those leaves. Again, adding in some violet to mix in my blue to create more depth for the front layers of grass and vegetation. As I was thinking of this piece, I was really debating about what character I would want before I landed on a panda. Thinking back, I think that a panda was a very natural animal for me to gravitate towards. It's one of the first pieces I ever painted with gouache, so it has a special part of my heritage of artwork, and I just love painting panda. They just mean so much to me. One of my first pieces that I ever sold on canvas was a panda sitting in a cafe in France. And that was also the first day that I saw a real life panda at the San Diego Zoo. So all of it was just so special to me. So here in the forest, I thought that wouldn't it be miraculous to have a panda playing a piano? Just like if someone claps in a forest and no one's there to hear it, is there still a noise? Or if a panda is there playing a piano in the forest and no one's there to hear it, is he still a piano player? So here I'm using my fine watercolor brush to fill in the details once I have most of the background done. At first I was debating if it would be a giant brown bear, but because the panda has such special symbolism for me, I decided to opt for a panda. As I'm painting this, I'm thinking of What type of music would you hear as the panda is playing in the forest? Would it be Bach or like Beethoven? I actually don't know my classical music that well, even though I have some practice with the piano when I was younger. But I think it really depends on the mood, and it depends on your mood when you're looking at this piece. Again, if you like this type of content, please consider like, subscribe, and sharing this channel. It really does help spread the word. Here I decided I'm going to add some ray of lights coming through the trees, shining into the forest. Again, this was inspired by the light that coming through my shades in the window. I just feel it adds so much more to the piece to have the ray of light shining through, and just feeling the warmth of the sun through the leaves and creating all these different shades of glow on the ground. For my acrylic wash, I often use a small soy sauce dish, as you can see there, to mix my paint. I usually don't need that much paint, especially when I get down to the more detailed layers. I also use a Prismacolor Premier color pencil along with Faber-Castell oil pencils to add in details after the gouache is laid out. I feel that really creates more depth and more kind of interest for the painting rather than just being fixated on one medium. Going back, I'm using some Faber-Castell sky blue to accentuate some of the glow that comes through on the leaves in the front. You can see that this panda is coming through nicely, and I've decided to add a couple birds to be hanging out with him and listen to his music. At first I was debating about whether the birds would be flying down and joining him as they're hearing the music, and then later on decided, you know what, they should just hang out together and he can just look at them while he's playing piano. Going back, I'm creating a little bit more gradient for some of the trees. It's really a big step for me to do artwork outside of just the normal Studio Ghibli theme fan art. I really want to do more of my type of art that's a little bit different, whether it be including a panda or not. But I think this piece is coming out nicely, and I really want to document as well my thought process of how I came to be on this piece and what I was thinking when I was working on it. I can feel like this piece, despite the hollowness of the forest, you can still hear chirping of the animals in the forest, including the birds, and you can still hear the light piano notes that carry through the air. And I can feel it's probably a cool morning when this piano player decided to sit down and start playing. Finishing up this piece, I'm going to add some Secure brand Jelly Roll archival ink. Guys, I really hope you enjoy following along this process as I produced this piece. It was quite a doozy. It took me a bit longer than I expected to complete, but I think it turned out quite well. So that's about it for now. Thank you so much for joining this art journey as I paint this piece of a beloved panda player in the early morning light. Take care, everyone. See you in the next video.